What's up, everyone? Peace and blessings to everyone. Welcome back to another video. What's going on? I apologize for yesterday. I didn't get a chance to jump on here yesterday. Had a very busy day at work, so I hope you all will come today. Marcus, I tell you, if anybody here on time, it's usually you, Marcus. What's happening? How you doing, sir? How was your Christmas, man? Merry Christmas to you, Marcus. Hope you had a good Christmas. And I wish you a better, happy New Year. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the Floyd situation. Yeah, the Floyd situation. Mine was pretty good, Marcus. Everything was good. Went to my sister's house, and we had a really good time. She had a lot of food, man. Really good food. I mean, food that you don't eat every day, you know? Turkey dressing, um, honey baked ham, which was delicious. Greens, mac and cheese, yams. I mean, she cooked it up, man. It was really great. I had a great Christmas. We all exchanged presents and gifts and everything. It went very well. It went very good. Let me see how many people are on right now. Let's see. Yeah, you're the only one on. I hope more people come on to the live tonight. I'm just gonna wait till more people come on. Yeah, you like a lot of people. Oh, what's up, Mr. Joseph in the house? How you doing, sir? Merry Christmas to you, man. Yeah, my Christmas was good. It was really, really good. I was with my sister and my uncle, and we had a very good Christmas, man. Really good food. I just love the food my sister cooks every year. Very good stuff, man. Very good stuff. I had a very great Christmas. Had a few days off of work, which is really cool. But I had a very great Christmas. Glad to be here. Hey, what's up? What's up? How you doing, Mattis White? Hey, how you doing? I'm doing great. If this is your first time, make sure you subscribe to my channel, okay? All right? It's good to see you. You're new. If this is your first time on this channel, make sure you like and subscribe, okay? Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Glad to see you here, man. Hey, what's good? Everything's good. I'm going to tell y'all some things about this Floyd situation, and then we're going to jump on in geoeconomics. I got some very dire news from Jamie Dimon about the state of the economy that he's really nervous about. That I'm going to talk about tonight, too. I'm doing good, Christina. Thomas, what about yourself? Good to see you. But we're going to talk about the passport, bro, and we're going to talk about the situation with the economics, with the monetary system, what's going on with the economy. And let me tell you something, it does not look good. Yeah. I should get better soon. Yeah. I was supposed to be having a PET scan coming up within a few days. I told you all about the prostate cancer and everything. So they want to see have the cancer advanced. I don't think it have. I think the cancer is very small. So hopefully, oh, sorry about that. But I don't think the cancer has spread or anything like that. I don't believe so because the MRI didn't pick anything up or the CAT scan didn't show nothing. But I did have a procedure called the prostate embolization. Man, I was in so much pain after that procedure. I was having cramps, couldn't sleep. It was bad. It was real bad. I don't wish anything on nobody to have to go through something like that. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? How you doing, Julian? Thank you for the gift that you sent. Thank you, thank you. Sarah Mendez, hi, how you doing? Make sure that some of y'all are new. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe, okay? Because my subscribers hasn't been doing very well. Haven't had no new subscribers in a while. So this helps the algorithm. It helps everything on YouTube when y'all do that, okay? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, thank y'all. Oh wow, we got 16 people here today. Okay, we got a lot to talk about tonight. I'm gonna jump on. Okay. The first thing I want to talk about is the Floyd situation in Brazil and about the passport, bro. Okay. Now, the first thing I want to say, I love everybody on this channel. No matter if you're male or female, black or white, it doesn't matter to me. This is a rainbow channel. I love everybody. Every race is important, whether you're Chinese, whether you're white, whether you're black. I don't care who you are. This is the people's channel. I bring you the truth. Okay. I just want to let everybody know that. Okay. But I need to explain to you about the Floyd situation, what happened in Brazil. Okay. And some of y'all are not going to agree when I'm get ready to talk about. Okay. And this is about why the passport bros are getting such a bad reputation. I've said this many, many, many times, even before I had a channel, that bad content was going to bite us. Was going to come back on us. And some of the content that I have seen in the past was sexually explicit videos of you traveling to Colombia and Brazil and making very inappropriate content. I knew that one day that was going to come back on us and bite us. I knew that was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you, I'm not excluded because also I had got some more information about Floyd, about what he actually did in Brazil. And some of the news that I'm getting, what he did in Brazil, oh my God, it's not good at all. It's not good at all. From what I've heard, I'm trying to say this, because I know the algorithm is to be careful what you say on YouTube. But according to some other news sources, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. I always remember that. He's still innocent until proven guilty until his day in court. I'm sure he's going to be charged. He's going to be arraigned for the crimes and stuff that he did. But everybody's innocent until proven guilty. I always remember that, okay? Everybody's innocent until proven. Let me see. You said that this even 3 years ago, even Austin got kicked out of Brazil. Yeah, Austin got kicked out of Brazil. He sure did. He sure did. Austin Hollister got kicked out of Brazil. Sure did. Well, I hope everybody's still on here. It shows that, I don't know, I had like 20 people in the chat. It's already down to two. I wonder where everybody went. This is weird. Is everybody still here? This is crazy. This shows nobody here on the live. I just had about 16 people on here. Marcus, you can still see me, can you? I don't know. It seems like everybody on the chat disappeared. It's like I'm showing nobody on here. If you guys can see me, please put some on the comment section. Let me know that you're still here with me. It's showing nobody here on the live stream. I still see you, Marcus, but I don't see nobody else. Where did everybody go? Okay, to me, the Passport Bro movement hasn't been living up to its name. They said that they left America to find wives and to get respect, but you are not being respectful. Hi, how you doing? Hey, good to see you. How you doing? Let me see. But you are not being respectful, and to me, um, you left America to escape laws. Yeah, that's true. I've heard some really bad things. It seems like there's something that's changing on the live stream. But anyway, let me keep on moving. I'm not going to pay attention to the numbers on the live stream because sometimes it seems like the live stream it flies like I could show like 50 people on here, then next minute it show me I only have one person on here. So I'm not going to pay no attention. I'm just going to keep going what I want to talk about. Okay. But I've heard some really, really bad things that Floyd did in Brazil. I've heard, I'm getting more news, but some of this news I can't really, I can't really say on this live. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. But something I need to tell you about the Passport Bros that a lot of you are probably not going to agree with what I'm getting ready to say about the Passport Bros, okay? Always remember this. The Passport Bros are stereotyped. Eric, what's up? Happy holidays to you too, sir. How you doing? How you doing? Thank y'all for subscribing. What's up, everybody? What's up? I'm going to give some more information about the Passport Bro, okay? About the reason why the Passport Bro is getting such a bad reputation. And I'm going to be honest with you about the Passport Bro, okay? Oh, thank you. Oh, wow, thank you. Eric, I tell you. Oh, Eric, I'm going to start doing the lives, the videos next month in January of the wealth building. Guys, let me tell you this before we continue. Robinhood has been giving out free stock all this week. I've been getting free stock from Robinhood. So make sure you join my membership on Wealth Building, okay? They have literally been giving out free money and stock this whole week. I got they gave me three major stocks. They gave me some Bitcoin. They gave me some, I think it's Ethereum. And they gave me some Doge, all free. They gave it to me all free. And they're giving out money too, Robinhood. So make sure I don't know what platform that you guys use to trade. I use Robinhood, but it doesn't matter what platform. If you use Moomoo, if you use E-Trade, whatever, I'm going to be doing wealth building video. We got to build some wealth, man. I'm telling you, things are getting ready to get bad. And that's what we get ready to talk about. It's called the Great Liquidation, and it's happening as we speak. And I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you about the Treasury Secretary, Scott Basin, what he's worried about, and what's getting ready to happen. But the fiscal monetary system in this country is in big trouble. Okay. But Robinhood been giving out free stock, man. And matter of fact, they're supposed to be giving me something more tonight after I get off this live. Okay. All right. Okay. So we're gonna jump. I'm getting ready to jump into this. Let me see how many people on. Man, only show people here. Okay. All right. I'm gonna keep going. Okay. Always remember this. Okay. There are there is anti-black racism in America. It is. I am black. Unfortunately, there is something that does happen in this country. It's called anti-black racism. Okay. Not only does it happen in the United States, but it happens worldwide. Some of you all, okay, some of you all, y'all go to these countries and y'all act like it doesn't exist, that racism doesn't exist. It does. I don't blame everything. I'm not blaming what's happening to Floyd on racism, but I'm giving you the reason why they stereotype the passport bro so badly. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you nothing but the truth. And like I said, this channel is for everybody. I know, I love black, white. It doesn't matter who you are, but women, whoever you are, I love everybody. But unfortunately, racism does occur in this country. It does, and it happens around the world. I know a guy that was in this foreign country. I'm not gonna mention what country it was, but he was walking with his white girlfriend, and he was just totally harassed the whole time that he was there. They kept calling him the N word, and they was jealous that he had a white girlfriend. They kept following him around. It was a European country too, and it was really bad. You know, but I'm going to be honest with you. Most black men that travels to foreign countries by default, by default, you are considered a passport bro. Okay. And by you being black, to be honest, I'm just being completely honest with you, you are mostly being watched. You have to be careful what you say. You have to be careful what you do. Okay? They're watching you. And some of the content that some of them are putting out here in Brazil, and some of them are putting out here in Colombia, only thing I can say, I told you so. Okay? I know a lot of you guys are not going to agree with what I'm saying. I know you was. I was on the Razor Ray show, and I talked about this. Hi, how you doing, Sarah? Good to see you. Yes, it's everywhere. Anti-black racism is everywhere. In some places, it's even worse than other places. Some places, some of y'all act like when y'all go to Thailand, y'all go to Brazil. Oh, racism doesn't exist here anymore. Yes, it does. Okay, and I'm going to tell you the reason why the passport bro name that people, when they hear that name, they associate it with black men, basically. I heard others that called themselves passport bros. Other races may have called themselves passport bro. But you take the name passport bro, okay? And you separate the words passport and then you have bro. Now, I grew up, believe it or not, I grew up in the Black Power movement back during the late 60s and the 70s. And when you usually hear the word bro, it's usually was something that was communicated between one black man to another black man. What up, bro? What's up, brother? You are my bro. Okay? I remember that as a kid. I remember the Black Power movement. I remember I used to go to the Malcolm X and they had Malcolm X pictures and, guys with big afros and the Black Panthers and all that type of stuff. I remember that as a kid. I remember that as a kid. Happy New Year to you. Good to see you too. Yes, yes, good to see you too. So when you put that word together, passport bro, by default, people are thinking that it's a black man with a passport. By default, that's what they think it is. That's what they think who you are. So this situation with Floyd and what he's done in Brazil has cast a negative shadow over the passport bro. If you are black and you travel and you do content, by default, they're going to categorize you as a passport bro. And I hope you have a good year too. Yeah, I hope you all have a good year. I hope everybody here has a good year. It's going to be a good year because we're going to do the wealth build. We're going to make some money this year. Okay? And the situation that happened in Nairobi, Kenya was horrible. If y'all know who I'm talking about, I'm not going to mention his name. But that cast the shadow of the passport, bro. And certain people had to leave Nairobi, Kenya for their safety. I did a video on that. But as a black man that travels, you have to be careful what you say, what type of content that you post, because they're looking for a reason to categorize you. Hope you have a good day tomorrow since it's tonight. Yeah, yeah, thank you. Thank you. You have a good evening too. Thank you very much, Eric, for the gifts and everything. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you so much. Right, no place is paradise. It's not. It's like I know someone that was in Medellin, Colombia, and he got called the N word, not by a Colombian, by someone else. I remember this content creator. I'm not going to mention his name. He was doing some vlogging, and the guy just walked right past him and called him the N word. There's no such thing as paradise, guys. You are going to be categorized by default as a passport bro. And people always wonder why is the passport bro getting so much negative, feedback and and Floyd by default they consider him a passport bro, and also Holloman they put him as the default passport bro. And look what happened with those situations. No, no, I'm not crying. No, I'm not crying. It may look like it, but no, I'm not crying. But yes, I heard some really bad things about Floyd. He's in very serious. He's in very serious trouble. If they move him to the regular prison population, he's really in trouble. He is really, really, really in trouble. I mean, people say, okay, got 6 people in. Yeah, I kind of feel sad for Floyd in a way too, but I'm hearing some information that's coming out of Brazil, boy, and it's so bad I can't even say it on this live. I can't even say it on this live stream. It's so bad. What I'm hearing about what he did, some of the things. If he's guilty for some of the stuff that I'm hearing that he did, he's in serious trouble. And they're not going to extradite him to the United States. They're not going to do it. They're not going to extradite him. Let's see what Mr. Marcus say. I wonder the same thing in the U.S. You have a common sense that you know where it's not to be going in to go in the United States. Ain't now not to go to Compton, but you think bad areas don't exist in Colombia. Yeah, they do. They exist in Colombia. Yeah, I know guys will help him to make it through. I don't know because what they're saying is that Sarah is that he exploited children, and that's a bad thing to do in a foreign country, especially a place like Brazil. Especially a place like Brazil. And I just heard some really nightmare stories about the prison system there. Yeah, yeah, I heard some really scary things about the prison system, how the gangs run everything, and if they find out that you are, engaged in any type of pedophilia or anything like that, it could be very dangerous for you. They probably keep him by him being what he probably got going for himself is that he is American. So maybe they got him away from the regular prison population. They would have to because his life would be in danger. Yeah, yeah, that's why I travel alone. You're right. That's why I travel alone. I don't take nobody with me because I don't want no problems when I travel. I don't want no problems when I travel. Man, this live stream is really fluctuating up and down, up and down. Wow. One minute I'm showing a whole lot of people on the live stream, and the next minute it's like there's nobody here. Yeah, a lot of people wanted to travel with me, but I said no, no, thank you. I was like, no, I travel by myself. When I go to Colombia, I go by myself. He said prison in general is bad. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, I just found out too. There was a girl that they caught. There was a guy that was unalived this week. No, I think it was last week by a in Colombia by a Venezuelan girl that he met at a club, and she drugged him, and he ended up dying. And they just arrested her, and they say she's going to get 33 years in prison. She's going to get 33 years in prison. Guys, one thing I want to tell you to always watch your drink, man. Don't trust nobody. Let me tell you something. If you meet a girl and you meet her at the club, right? And she approaches you, let's say you're at a bar or something like that, and she approaches you, that should be a red flag right there. That should really worry you. And then if she wants to come to your place, that should be even a more bigger red flag. Yeah, she got 33 years in prison. Yeah, she got 33 years in prison. Yep, she got 33 years in prison. But he brought her to his hotel and she drugged him. And she gave him too much and unalived him. Always, I'm going to give you some safety tips when you travel. If you with a female for the first time, don't eat or drink anything around her, period. Eat before she comes over, and drink before she comes, and then drink and eat when she leaves. Because it only takes 1 millisecond before she can drop something in your drink. You can turn your head for a second and she put something in there to knock you out. And she'll take all your stuff, take all your credit cards, take your passport, take everything. I'm glad you like my channel. Thank you. I try to help. I try to give some good advice to everybody. Yeah, but that's a rip because I'm gonna tell you something, most women, they don't even most women, the regular women ain't gonna go with you to your house on the first date. That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Most women, I'm talking about normal women, not working girls. I'm talking about just regular good girls. It's not gonna come home with you on the first night. They're not gonna go home with no stranger. And me, I would be very cautious of inviting someone in my home that I just, if I went to a bar, which I don't do, but if I go to a bar right now or across the street or something, and a girl approaches me and she has like, I don't know who this person is, and she approaches me and then all of a sudden she's talking about she wants to go home with me, I'd be like, nah, no, I don't think so. I think we should get to know each other a little better. Because women are involved in robberies too. Yep. Let me see. If a girl ain't respectful, let me see. That's true. Yeah, that's true. So that's what happened to him. He met the girl at the bar. They communicated at the bar, but he didn't realize that was going to be his last night being alive. He died over something that he shouldn't have to die over. He brought the girl home to his hotel, and she gave him something. She gave him too much of whatever it is she gave him, knocked him out, and they found him unalive a day later when the hotel employees came into the room and found him unresponsive. And the stuff is still happening in Colombia. Yes, it is. And it happens in Brazil too. You just don't hear much about it. He said if the boy didn't know better, he wouldn't do it. Well, there's lots of videos on YouTube that tells you about these type of things. DC Born Rob, I don't know if y'all have his channel, but he talks about this stuff all the time. About you have to be extremely careful. He said these things still happen, but some things are just common sense, though. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Even before I started traveling, I was still very suspicious of people that I didn't know, and having my food and my drink. When I used to go to, okay, for example, if I went to a bar, okay, and I had a drink, if I laid that drink down, I had to go to the bathroom. That drink was contaminated. I'll never lay my drink down, go to the bathroom, come out, and drink that same drink. I wouldn't even do that at a restaurant. You said if they was watching DC Born Rob or Razor Rays or Tony Rowe, they will not be there. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you gotta watch this because I told you guys the story. Me and my ex-girlfriend was drugged at a bar. This was years ago. We were drugged. So this can happen anywhere, anywhere. You can go to somebody's house and have a house party, and people got drinks and stuff all over the place and stuff, and they mixing drinks and stuff. I ain't touching it. I drink before I get there. What I used to do sometimes back in the day, this is what I used to do. I don't do this anymore. I will not advise nobody to drink and drive. But what I used to do, if I was going to a party, I would stop at the liquor store, get my drink, and I would drink it in the car, which I shouldn't be doing. I would not advise anybody to do this. But I would drink it in the car before I go into the party. Because I didn't trust what people had at the party, what they could have. Let's see. All party people even put weed and drugs and brownies. Yep, sure do. Yep, yep. This happened to a friend of mine. He went to a party and he had some brownies and they put marijuana in the brownies and he had a very severe allergic reaction to it. He thought he was having a heart attack. Yep. So you gotta be careful, y'all. Okay. All right, I'm gonna get into the economic collapse. Okay? Keep on moving. It's time to keep on moving. Um, Only thing I have to say about the state of the economy with the country is that make sure you start investing and make sure you start getting your retirement and getting everything together because we are in serious, serious economic trouble in this country right now. Let me see. Read some more of these. Some girls are crazy, some are not, some are dangerous, others not dangerous. Yeah, that's true. But you have to be careful. This universal precaution. This is what we talk about because I work in the medical field. I work, in a hospital. And we have to treat all waste as infectious waste. All blood, you know what I'm saying? All types of, when you come in contact with a patient or anybody, you have to practice universal precaution because anybody can be contaminated, anybody can have a virus, anybody can have a disease. And the same thing when you're dealing with people. You don't know who is what. So you have to treat everybody. I mean, you're not saying everybody's guilty, but you're protecting yourself. Morgan, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Yeah, you have to be careful wherever you go. Right, that's what I'm saying. But me, and my ex-girlfriend years ago, we got drugged. Let me tell y'all this story, then we jump back into the economic collapse. Um, she was beautiful too. I really miss her, man. I really miss her. She was probably one of the most beautifulest girlfriends I've ever had since I've been dating in the States. She was gorgeous. This was like back in 2012, 2013, maybe. This was years ago. Can't believe it's been that long ago. And me and her used to, matter of fact, she actually moved in with me. She was having problems with her mother. Her and her mom didn't get along, which is with her grandmother. Her and her grandmother wasn't getting along. So I used to pick her up from my grandma's house, bring her home and stuff. So one day we decided, I said, okay, you can stay here with me as long as you want. It was really cool because we used to have a lot of fun. Kind of miss those days. So what happened was she was a very beautiful girl too. She was very beautiful girl. I used to get her nails done, hair done. You gotta keep the maintenance up on the females. You know how that is. And we used to spend most of our time at home. At home, we used to spend most of our time at home. So one day we said, "Hey, let's go out this Saturday night. Let's go out. She said, I want to go out and have some fun and dance and do all this type of stuff." So I say, "Cool, we can do that." So I went bought her a dress and I bought myself a suit. It was a nice suit too. It was real nice, you know. So we went to this club right down the street, maybe about 5 miles away from here. And she was looking good too, man. She had on her heels, hair was looking good. We walked into the club and I'm admitted I was kind of trophy her. I was, this is my girl. I was really glad to be with her. And we danced a little bit. So we went to the VIP lounge. We went into the VIP lounge. So the bartender, wherever it was, they came up to us and they said, "Would you guys like to have something to drink?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "We'll take 2 glasses of white Zinfandel." So the bartender went and got our order, came back. We had 2 glasses, one for her, one for me. We, we drank the wine, and then all of a sudden, like we made a little toast, and then we drink, we sipped out of the glass. Then we just sipping on the glass. And then probably within 15, 20 minutes, we started feeling very strange. I was like, uh-oh. We're starting to feel very, very tired. Then I asked her, I said, "Do you feel very tired? Do you feel very unusually tired?" She said, "Yeah, I do too. I feel the same way." Because we had drank before and it never affected us that bad like that before. I said, "I think we need to leave now." So we put the glasses down. We walked out of that bar, that club. We got into the car. I was still able, you know, to still do this, but I just I felt very weird, very tired. So we both got into the car because I didn't live that far. I said, I know we can make it home. You know what I'm saying? So I got her into the car. I got into the car, put the seatbelts on, rolled the window down. Then we drove off. Then I was letting the wind hit my face, as I'm driving. I got one hand on the steering wheel like this, and the wind was just hitting me on my face. So we finally got home. So I went around the passenger side. I kind of held her up a little bit. We made it to the house, got into the bed, and she was out just like that. She was out just like that. So I sat up for a minute and everything. It's like everything was starting to spin around a little bit. Everything, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe we got drugged. I don't know if somebody did it because they were jealous of us or something. So I crawled in, I kept an eye on her to make sure that she was okay. Next morning came around. I got up, started fixing breakfast. She was still asleep. And I said, if she doesn't get any better, I'm going to take her to the hospital. I want to take her to the hospital, you know. So she was, I told her to sit up. She did sit up for a minute, gave her some coffee, gave her something to eat. Then after she ate, she got right back in the bed and went right back to sleep again. She didn't really get up until that day, until about, she kept like going to sleep, waking up, going to sleep, waking up. She didn't really get back up until like 6 o'clock in the evening. And then we got a chance to talk. I said, you know what? We got drugged. And I called the police. If I knew what I knew now, I would have made a police report. That's what I should have did. Oh, thank you. Yeah, yeah. Subscribe to me. Thank you. I appreciate it. You have to be very careful, period, where you go. Yeah, you do. Yeah. And that was the first time I ever got drugged like that, but it can't happen. You can't get drugged. Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy, man. And I called the establishment. I said, hey, I think somebody in your stuff. I think, and technically it was the bartender that probably did it. I've heard stories of bartenders drugging people. I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything, but I've heard of bartenders actually be in on it. So that's what I'm saying. Use universal precaution wherever you go. And if you're out of the country or you're going somewhere else, have somebody with you, somebody that you trust that can look out for you, just in case something like that happens. Okay, we're gonna get to the economic collapse now. So, like I told you guys, things are going to get rough. You need to prepare, okay? You need to prepare for what's coming. Okay, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of Chase Bank, is very concerned of the state of the economy. Okay, and it's the $38 trillion debt that this country is in right now. We are so much in debt right now until we can't even pay the interest on the debt. They said the interest of the debt costs more than that we pay on Social Security and Medicaid and the military. Okay? This is how much debt this country is in. There's only two ways out of this. Either the Treasury Secretary find more buyers of U.S. bonds, which they cannot find, or either they just print money and inflation is going to go it's going to be off the roof. You don't want to live from paycheck to paycheck. Make sure you sign up my membership here on YouTube because I'm going to start doing wealth building videos. Robinhood, the platform that I trade on, was giving away money and stocks this week. Okay. And see, what's happening is right now, there is a big liquidation that's happening right now. So these countries that are holding U.S. treasuries are selling them and they're not buying anymore. Okay. I want you to listen to this guy. He's a professor, and he worked for the International Monetary Fund. This is called the Great Liquidation because China is one of our biggest debt holders in Japan. So what they're doing as we speak is that they are liquidating their U.S. treasuries and their bonds, and they're not buying anymore. No, you keep asking me, I'm crying. No, I'm not crying. No, 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 no. Why should I cry for it? No, no, I'm not crying. I know my eyes sometimes are sensitive to the light, but no, I'm not crying. No, I'm not crying. Okay?
Would always be there to pay the bill. They assumed that no matter how much they insulted their banker, the banker would never close the account.
Mm-hmm.
But this month, the credit card was declined. The data quietly released from Beijing this week is not just a warning, it is a liquidation.
Mm-hmm.
China is dumping US treasuries at a pace we have not seen since the 2008 crisis.
You hear that? Did you hear what he just said? China is dumping treasuries like we've never seen before since the 2008 crisis. Because you know what, guys, I'm gonna tell you something. I can sit here on my channel. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't try to entertain y'all. I don't. If you're looking for entertainment, maybe this is the wrong channel for. I try to give you stuff that's going to help you. I can sit here and talk about what's going on in Brazil. I can sit here and talk about, all this gossip and stuff, what's happening in the Dominican Republic, what's happening. I mean, I do talk about this stuff, but I want you guys to have tangible information. Because talking about gossip is not going to pay your bills. Talking about gossip is not going to pay your medical bills if something happens to you. And I'm seeing the effects of the economy. Guess what? I live in an apartment complex. Hold on for a second. I'll be right. Something I need to tell you. I'll be right back. Right back. Right back. Something to drink. Let me tell you something that I saw coming home last night. And I'm not trying to fear monkey, but I'm telling you guys the truth. I'm telling you guys the truth. When I came back home from work yesterday, I saw several eviction notices on people's doors. I saw several eviction notices on people's doors. And guess what? I'm in Michigan. Okay. Right now, it's 24 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Let me tell you this, they don't care how cold it is outside. If you can't pay, you can't stay. They don't care. Those working girls down there in Colombia, if you lose your job today, are they going to be around? Are they going to help you? If you get sick, are they going to help pay your bills? Hola. Everywhere's a problem, right? That's what I'm talking. That's why I do this type of content. I want you guys to have tangibles. I want you guys to let me tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. I remember my grandfather. My grandfather. I used to live with him when I was in my late teens, going to my 20s. I used to sleep upstairs, right? My granddad had a room downstairs on the main floor. We had a two-story house, right? When I would wake up and walk down the stairs, my grandfather would catch me. He would call me, Tony, come here, boy. Let me talk to you. I was like, oh my God, we're getting ready for another lecture. He had a chair in his room, and I would sit there in the chair, and he would lecture me. Say, what you doing? What you got up? May he rest in peace. He's in heaven right now. He said, what you got up? What you doing? I said, well, I'm going to school. I'm doing this and doing this. But one thing he taught me, he said, you got to learn how to stand on your own 2 feet. Stand on your own 2 feet. Because nobody's going to care nothing about you. Nobody's going to pay your bills. Nobody's going to do nothing for you. That was 40 years ago. And you fast forward to 2025, I say every single thing he said was right. Because if you don't pay, you can't stand. They don't care that it's 24 degrees Fahrenheit outside. They don't care. They're going to kick you out if you don't pay. Same thing about your house, your mortgage and everything. So that's why I do this type of content about monetary policy, about how to prepare yourself to be financially stable. You know, if I would have known this 25 years ago, right now I would be in Brazil right now living my best life. Or Thailand or wherever we go, or Colombia, my favorite place to travel. I would be with Cookie right now, just sitting back. My money's making money for me. I'm good. I have to worry about being kicked out because I got residual incomes coming in. This is what I want you guys to know on this channel. That's why I tell you guys to sign up for my membership. It's only $3.99. That's no money. $3.99. So basically what you're doing is, if you join my membership, basically what you're doing is you're buying me a cup of coffee every month. Less than a cup of coffee. Because in Starbucks, a cup of coffee is more than $3.99. Because I'm gonna be doing wealth building videos every week. One video a week. And not only that, I'm gonna be telling you what's going on in the stock market, what's going on with the economy, because that's why I started to study is geopolitics and geoeconomics. I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not an economist, but I know a lot of information. And I'm gonna pass that information on to you. This is not a get rich quick thing. I'm not going to say, oh, wow, you're going to make $100,000. Oh, my God. If you invest in this, you're going to make two. No, 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 no. Wealth building is that this is going to happen slowly over time. And then what you're going to do is, this is 2025. When 2030 gets here, you're going to look back and say, wow, what have I accomplished? What have I got? And you look back and just look back at the last 5 years. What have you accomplished? What do you got to show for? Google send me a slideshow. Sometimes they do that. They send you a slideshow of pictures on your phone sometimes. They sent me one the other day, and I looked at it. And I couldn't believe those pictures were taken 7 years ago. It was only yesterday. I said, wow, that was 7 years ago? Seriously? So in 7 years, what have you accomplished? Read some of these. I bought some stocks, but I should buy it before war military stock. Yeah. We're going on membership, on my membership subscribers, that's what we're going to be talking about. And I know exactly what stocks to buy. I know exactly what's getting ready to happen. Because what's going to happen is, let me tell y'all this. When the reset happens, when the economic reset happens, there are going to be big losses and there are going to be companies who are going to flourish. It's all going to come down to which side that you on. And most people is at the wrong side. You do not want to go into this economy living from paycheck to paycheck because you're gonna get wiped out. And most of you guys on here are like in your 30s, 20s, 40s. You can forget about Social Security. You can forget about that. You need to put that out of your mind. You need to put that out of your mind. I don't know what they're gonna do about Medicare and Medicare. Let me tell you something. You know what's really expensive? Let me tell you something. You know it's really expensive that we don't talk about this, but we're gonna talk about this on this channel. It's medical expenses. Yeah, medical expenses. It's very high. It's very expensive. You gotta have a pension. Easy, easy. How you doing, brother? I'm sorry I don't have StreamYard anymore. It's because the channel it's still a small channel, and StreamYard was costing too much. So when this channel becomes, you know, able to sustain itself, then I will get the StreamYard back. But I'm gonna give you some more what this guy says about the state of the economy and what we need to be concerned about.
They are not merely rebalancing their portfolio, they are running for the exits. And in Washington, the panic is setting in. The new Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, is waking up to a mathematical nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
He has to sell $3 trillion of new debt this year just to keep the lights on in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
But he's looking at his order book, and his biggest customer has just left the store.
Yep.
I have sat in the boardrooms of the IMF. I have negotiated with finance ministers from developing nations who were told they had to impose austerity because markets lost confidence. I know exactly what capital flight looks like.
Everybody is heading to the exit because they know what's getting ready to happen. You said, how do I know what stocks to buy? Well, you got, like you said, get on my membership channel. It's for members only about the wealth builder, and I will tell you what stocks to invest. If you have your own platform, that's good. You can follow me on the platform that you use. If you got E-Trade, if you got Moomoo, if you got Robinhood, because I use Robinhood. So when I give the presentation, it's going to be done on Robinhood. I'm going to show you my portfolio. I have an account that I created exactly for this reason. Okay, I'm going to show you what stocks to buy. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show you step by step what I have, and you're going to follow me. Okay, but make sure you do your own research too. Okay, if you decide that this is what you want to do. But I know that wealth building is very, very important. I wish someone would have told me um, a long time ago about this. I would be at a much better place right now. You know what I'm saying? Especially what's happening in the world right now. Because we are in trouble, big trouble.
What is happening between Washington and Beijing right now is not a trade tactic.
Okay, you say if stocks would collapse, you say we should wait, right? Like I told you, there are going to be some that's going to fail, and there's going to be some that's going to flourish. There's going to be a movement of wealth from one side to the other. And I don't know if you guys heard of the global south of BRICS. Okay? Okay? I don't know if you heard of that. We're gonna be talking about all this stuff on the membership channel about the monetary stuff, the economy, stocks, and everything. But let me give you an example. Let me give you one example. Like you said, what if the stocks will collapse and wait right? No, if you know which ones to get, you're gonna be fine. Okay, because there are even during the collapse, there are going to be still some companies that still is going to flourish, and some is going to take a really big hit. Okay, but it's better without doing anything at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna get something for you right now. I'm gonna give you an example. You know, you have some companies that's gonna always be around, like Coca-Cola, for example, like this Sprite right here, Coca-Cola. As long as there's people watching entertainment, as long as there's people watching sports, people are going to always want to drink pop. That's not going anywhere.
It is not a negotiation leverage play. It is a strategic exit.
Mm-hmm.
It is the world's second largest economy deciding that the risk-free asset has become the riskiest asset on the planet. Today, we are going to explain why the great liquidation has
Thank
begun.
you.
We are going to look at the brutal mathematics that the US media refuses to show you.
See, the media is not telling you all about this. Okay, let me see. Gold and silver, double. Yeah, we should buy that as well as before. Yep. Yep, we're going to talk about all that in the wealth building videos. So make sure y'all do that. Go on YouTube right now and join this channel. $3.99 a month. That's not bad. And plus, what you're doing is you're helping the channel, and I'm helping you. We're gonna help each other. And like I said, this is not no. I'm not gonna say and tell you that this is a get rich thing. You gotta send me money or send money. No, 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 no. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be doing trading, and we're gonna learn about building wealth together. Whether you're using Robinhood, whether you're using E-Trade, whether you're using, you just follow me what I do. Okay, and I'm going to show you on Robinhood what I do and what I'm trading. And not only that, if something is happening in the stock market that you should know, you can be able to talk to me on Instagram. You have instant access to me. You know, so I'm going to start a group on Instagram for my members. And if something happens, you know, that there's a stock I think that you all should know about, I'm going to let you know. If Robinhood is giving away money, I'm going to let you know. If there's a problem with the U.S. economy, something's getting ready to jump off, I'm going to let you know. So this is going back and forth. This is going to be going back and forth between. We're going to do this together, okay? Okay. And like I said, this is not a quick get rich scheme because there's content creators and people out there. Like I seen somebody on Instagram say, "Yeah, I know a stock right now. If you invest $10,000 right now, you can make $1 million." No, 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 no. That's not what this is. This is not what this is. This is not what this is. We're going to go step by step of building wealth. Like I said, you're gonna start in January of 2025, and then when we get to December of 220 of two no I'm sorry 226 I'm sorry of 226, then we're gonna evaluate and say, okay, what have we gotten between January of 2026 of December of 2026, you know. But we're gonna do this week by week, month by month, and year by year. Okay? Because some of the companies that I invest in is not even US companies. I got companies in Greece, I got companies in Canada, British Columbia, Canada. I got companies in the US. So we're diversified. You may be invested in a company in the US that may be going bad, but the company, the manufacturer that you invest in Greenland or in Australia or Canada may be doing great. That's why you diversify. You know, you gotta have a long term, man. You gotta do it, bro. You have to do it. It's really really important.
The doom loop of interest payments. And we are going to explain why the next 6 months will likely determine whether the US dollar remains the global reserve currency or becomes just another piece of paper in a sea of red ink. Let us start by looking at the trap. To understand why China is selling, you first have to understand the desperation of the seller. The American public thinks their government is funded by taxes. This is a polite fiction. The United States government is a deficit machine that is funded by debt. For decades, this worked because of the exorbitant privilege. The US could.
Yep, that's how the U.S. monetary system works, by U.S. debt. They go from one country to another borrowing money, but guess what? Nobody is buying. Yeah, you just sign up through. When you go to my channel, it says join. You hit the join button. There's a little button that says join, and you go through it that way. It's right on my channel, on my YouTube channel. Yeah, just go to join, and it take you step by step what you have to do. And you join through YouTube. So far, I got 3 members so far. Dave, he joined the other day, so I'm gonna start getting these videos out next week. Well, let me see, not next week, but in the 1st of January. First week in January, I'm gonna do one like every Friday. If I don't do it on Friday, it'll be either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Then I'm gonna put it out about what the Dow Jones Industrial is doing, what the S&P 500 is doing. Those are 2 major categories that I buy stock in, mostly in the S&P 500. And the S&P 500 is mostly like, I think, American companies. No, thank you. Thank you. No, I thank you for your support.
Export its inflation to the world, and the world would import American debt. But the math has broken. We are currently witnessing a phenomenon that usually only happens in failing emerging markets. It is called fiscal dominance. The US national debt has crossed $36 trillion.
Wow.
But the total number is not the problem. The problem is the cost of that debt. For 20 years, the US enjoyed near zero interest rates. Borrowing was free. But today, rates are at 5%. This means the interest bill on the US debt has exploded. The US government is now spending over $1 trillion a year just on interest.
Just on
Let me
interest.
put that number in perspective for you. The United States.
They pay him $1 trillion just on interest. Just on interest. They can't even pay the principal. So that lets you know we are in very, very dire circumstances. And nobody's listening to me. Because let me tell you something. Before this stuff happened, what you seeing in Brazil, and what you seeing what's happening with the passport, bro, I've been talking about this 7 years ago that this was going to happen. I say, if we keep putting out really nasty content and talking about our sexual conquest and how much working girls cost and talking about this stuff on social media, that eventually these countries are going to rebel. I said this 7 years ago, and look where we are now. But nobody didn't listen to me. And I'm telling you the future about this. This is going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow, it's going to happen next week, but it's going to happen. And people ain't going to understand it when it does happen.
States now spends more on interest payments to bondholders than it spends on its entire military. It spends more on interest than it spends on Medicare. This creates a Ponzi dynamic.
Yeah.
The Treasury does
You're
not
right,
have
Marcus.
the tax revenue to pay this interest.
You're right.
So what do? They borrow more money to pay the interest on the old money.
Yep.
In the private sector, we call this a Ponzi scheme.
A Ponzi scheme.
In the IMF, we call it unsustainable debt dynamics.
Yes.
In Washington, they call it Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
This system only survives as long as there's a greater fool, someone willing to buy this new debt at low rates, ignoring the obvious risk of default or devaluation. For 20 years, China was that buyer. They took their trade surplus, the dollars they earned from selling you iPhones and furniture, and they recycled it back into US Treasury bonds. This was the engine of globalization. China produced, America consumed,
right,
and China lent America the money to keep consuming.
Right.
But the engine has stopped.
Yeah.
China looks at the US balance sheet and they
Listen,
see a
y'all.
country that is mathematically insolvent. They see a Treasury Secretary who needs to borrow $3 trillion this year in a market that is already saturated with paper. Why would a rational investor buy bonds from a country that has to borrow to pay the interest on its credit card?
It's like, it's to the point here, is that you have to borrow money to pay the interest. It's like I have a credit card and I overspent on that credit card, right? But I can't afford to pay the principal on the credit card. So I go to another credit card to pay the interest of that credit card debt, or the interest of that credit card. So you're just going from borrowing from one place to another. That's how bad the situation is. Yeah, and bullying the world. Yes, 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 yes. See, they think that they're doing everything right, but they're doing everything wrong. They're doing everything wrong. So each time that Trump makes a threat, or talk about taking Greenland, taking Venezuela, doing this, or freezing people's assets, like they did Russia, then it creates uncertainty. It creates uncertainty. So people's like, well, I'm not going to trust America to hold billions of dollars of reserves that belongs to me. So when they get mad at me, they can freeze it like they did Russia. The biggest mistake that they ever made is they weaponized the monetary system. They weren't supposed to do that. They weren't supposed to do that. When you weaponize the monetary system, that means people don't trust you. So now people are going to other places now Just saying, I want to escape the dollar. So China, Russia, and the BRICS and some African countries are creating their own digital cross payment systems. They're doing it now. That was something that we thought that they was going to do maybe in the next 20 years, 30 years. No, no, they're doing it now. If they see what we're doing right now, they say, oh no, we got to get out of this. We got to get away from the dollar.
You wouldn't lend money to a neighbor who manages their finances this way. So why should Beijing? The smart money in the East has realized that the US Treasury bond is no longer a store of value. It is a certificate of confiscation, and they are getting out before the crash.
Before the
So
crash.
the math is broken. But bad math alone does not destroy an empire. Empires can survive bad accounting for a long time as long as they have trust.
That's right, Marcus.
And this brings
You're
us
absolutely
to the
right.
second, more dangerous reason why China is liquidating its American assets. It is not just about the return on investment, it is about the return of the investment.
Mm-hmm.
In the world of high finance, there is a concept called sovereign immunity. It is the bedrock of international law.
Right.
It means that the central bank's reserves are sacred.
Mm-hmm.
Even in
Yep.
war, you do not steal the other nation's savings.
You heard what he just said? You do not steal the other person's savings, even during a time of war. The monetary system should be sacred. I should be able to invest my money and not worry about nobody trying to freeze it or even take it away. You shouldn't weaponize that. And when you do, it creates uncertainty and people look for other alternative means.
This rule allowed enemies to trade. It allowed the global financial system to function. But in February 2022, the United States and Europe decided to tear up that rule. When they froze $300 billion of Russian central bank reserves, they thought they were being tough. They thought they were punishing Vladimir Putin. The politicians in Washington and Brussels high-fived each other. They called it economic statecraft. I looked at that moment with horror, because I knew what they had actually done. They had not just sanctioned Russia, they had sanctioned the concept of property rights. They sent a message to the entire global south, to China, to Saudi Arabia, to Brazil, to India. The message was clear: your money is safe with us until we disagree with you. If you are China watching this happen, what is your logical conclusion? You have a brewing conflict with the United States over Taiwan. You have trade wars escalating every month. You see US politicians openly calling you an existential threat. And yet, you are holding $800 billion of your national savings in US Treasury bonds.
Right.
Assets that can be frozen, seized, or confiscated with a single keystroke from the US president. Holding US debt is no longer an investment for China. It is a strategic vulnerability. It is handing your enemy the knife to cut your throat. So the liquidation we are seeing now is not an economic decision. It is a national security decision. China is de-risking. They are building a financial firewall. And the West is reacting with shock. Look at the headlines about the European Union forcing Euroclear, the clearinghouse in Belgium, to transfer the profits from Russian assets to Ukraine. They call it a windfall tax. Let us be precise with our language. In the banking world, taking money that does not belong to you is not a windfall tax. It is a default. By forcing a private clearinghouse to seize sovereign assets, Europe has destroyed its own banking reputation. They have turned the euro into a
And see, that's what happened. When you take someone's reserves like that, they don't trust you anymore.
political weapon, just like the dollar. This is why we see the lawsuit from the Bank of Russia against Euroclear for $230 billion. The Western media ignores this lawsuit. They think it is a joke. But the global South is watching closely. We see that the rule of law in the West has become the rule of lawyers. If they can twist the law to steal Russian money today, they can twist it to steal Chinese money tomorrow or Saudi money the day after. This is the Triffin dilemma on steroids. The United States wants the privilege of being the world's banker, but it also wants the freedom to act like the world's policeman. You cannot be both.
Right.
A banker who robs his customers does not stay in business very long. So where is the money going? It is not vanishing. It is moving. China is selling US treasuries and buying gold. They are buying commodities. They are investing in infrastructure projects.
And that's what I'm talking about. We're going to be talking about on my wealth building videos about what we're going to be investing in.
Across the Belt and Road Initiative.
Commodities, gold.
For hard assets. And they are not alone. Look at the data. Central banks around the world bought record amounts of gold in the last 2 years. Who are the biggest buyers? China, Turkey, India, the Middle East. They are collectively voting against the dollar. The US Treasury Secretary is sitting in Washington hoping that these countries will come back. He's hoping that if interest rates go up a little bit, China will get greedy and buy the bonds again. He's mistaken. You cannot buy back trust with a few basis points of yield. The bridge has been burned. The United States weaponized the financial system, thinking it was a display of power. In reality, it was an act of institutional suicide. They proved to the world that the dollar is not a neutral reserve currency, but a political leash, and China has decided to cut the leash. But if China stops buying and the US government cannot stop spending, who fills the hole? Who buys the $3 trillion of debt? This leads us to the terrifying scenario that is unfolding.
That's what I'm talking about. Who buys the debt? Because everybody is selling, but they're not buying. And that's why we find ourselves in this dilemma. Is everybody still there? Can y'all still hear me on the live stream? I'll be leaving in a few minutes. I just want to make sure, can y'all hear me? Yes, okay, you hear me. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, y'all was just very quiet. I just want to, make sure y'all listen to what he was saying. I just want to say thank you all for coming on the live today. I hope y'all got something that you could use. And like I said, I'm talking about doing tangible things on this channel. I can sit here and gossip about what's going on with this person and but that's not gonna do nothing for your financial freedom, or that's not gonna do nothing to help you. You said we're listening. Okay. All right. Did y'all want to keep listening to what he finish what he had to say, or y'all want me to cut the live? It's up to y'all. What do y'all want me to tell me? What y'all want me to do? Y'all have any questions y'all want to know? Ask me any questions right now. I'm going to keep playing this, and if you have any questions, just let me know.
Right now in the bond market. The moment the greater fool walks away, the Ponzi scheme collapses. So we have established the crime scene. The biggest buyer, China, is leaving the market. The seller, the US Treasury, is desperate for cash. The product, the US bond, is toxic. Now, let us look at the consequences.
Okay, hold on.
What happens when the...
What you mean by the Brazilian dude? What you mean? I don't understand. What Brazilian dude you want to listen to? You talking about the guy that I'm playing right now? Well, what's going to happen, Easy, there's going to be a financial reset that's going to happen. And it's going to be worse than the 2008 crisis. It's going to be bad. Because the United States financial system is not in good shape right now. It's not. Yeah, he is Brazilian. Yeah, he's Brazilian. Okay, we'll finish listening to him. Then I answer your questions. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section, and I keep answering it until the end of this video.
World's biggest borrower loses its credit line. In a normal market, when there are more sellers than buyers, the price crashes.
Mm-hmm.
In the bond market, when the price crashes, the yield or the interest rate explodes higher.
Higher.
This is the nightmare scenario for the Federal Reserve. If China dumps hundreds of billions of dollars in bonds and no one steps in to buy them, the interest rate on the 10-year Treasury could shoot up to 6, 7, or even 8%. You might think, why do I care about bond yields? I don't own bonds. But you do.
Yeah.
Everything in the American economy is priced off the 10-year Treasury.
Mm-hmm.
It is the global benchmark.
Mm-hmm.
If the Treasury yield hits 7%,
Mm-hmm.
mortgage rates hit 12%.
Mm-hmm.
The housing market freezes instantly. Auto loans hit 15%. The car industry collapses.
Yep.
Corporate debt becomes too expensive to refinance.
Right.
Zombie companies, which make up 20% of the US stock market,
Mm-hmm.
go bankrupt.
Yep.
The US government's own interest bill doubles again
Mm-hmm.
to $2 trillion. The
Yep.
entire financialized economy of the United States is built on the assumption of cheap money.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot survive 5% rates, let alone 7.
Mm-hmm.
So the Federal Reserve will be forced to make a choice. It is a choice between two devastations. Option 1, they let the market crash.
Yep.
They allow rates to rise.
Mm-hmm.
They let the bond vigilantes punish the US government
Mm-hmm.
for its reckless spending. This would trigger a Great Depression style collapse.
Mm-hmm.
The stock market would lose 50% of its value.
Mm-hmm.
Unemployment would skyrocket. Politically, this is suicide. No government will allow this to happen in an election cycle. So they will choose option 2.
Print more
Option 2
money.
is called yield curve control.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fancy technical term for money printing.
Mm-hmm.
The Federal Reserve will step in and become the buyer of last resort.
Mm-hmm.
They will say, okay, China won't buy the debt, Japan won't buy the debt, fine, we will buy it ourselves.
Right.
They will print trillions of new dollars to buy their own government's bonds to keep interest rates artificially low.
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly what Japan has been doing for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a difference. Japan is a creditor nation with a savings culture. The United States is a debtor nation with a consumption culture.
Mm-hmm.
When the US starts printing money to buy its own debt, while the rest of the world is selling that debt,
Mm-hmm.
you trigger an inflationary death spiral.
Mm-hmm.
The more they print, the more the dollar loses value.
Right.
The more the dollar loses value, the more countries like China and Saudi Arabia want to sell their dollar assets.
Yep.
The more they sell, the more the Fed has to print to soak up the supply.
Mm-hmm.
It is a feedback loop from hell, and we are already seeing the cracks. Look at the gold price.
Yep.
Gold is hitting all-time highs while the dollar is supposedly strong.
Yes.
This should not happen in traditional economics.
Mm-hmm.
Gold and the dollar usually move in opposite directions. When they both rise together, it is the market screaming a warning.
Mm-hmm.
It is saying, we don't trust the currency and we don't trust the debt.
Mm-hmm.
The market knows that the Fed is trapped. Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, knows he is trapped.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to talk tough. He says he will keep rates high to fight inflation, but he's bluffing. The moment something breaks, the moment a big bank
you're right.
fails or the bond market locks up,
Yep.
he will pivot.
Yep.
He will turn on the printers.
Mm-hmm.
He has no other tool. And this is what China is counting on. China knows the US cannot afford high interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
They know the US must inflate its way out of this debt mountain.
Yep.
By selling now, China is forcing the Fed's hand. They are accelerating the crisis. They are pushing the US toward that moment of truth where
Right.
they have to choose between saving the bond market or saving the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert, they will save the bond market. They will sacrifice the dollar. This brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. It is not just China. The great liquidation is contagious.
Yes.
Look at Japan. Japan holds over $1 trillion in US debt.
Yes.
They are the biggest holder, even larger than China.
Yes.
But the Japanese yen is collapsing. To save their own currency, Japan has to sell US dollars.
Yes.
They have to sell US treasuries. So the US is facing a double exit. Its two biggest bankers, China and Japan, are both becoming sellers at the exact same time. One is selling out of geopolitical anger, the other is selling out of economic desperation. The result is the same. The bid for American debt is disappearing. And Mr. Besant, the new Treasury Secretary, is standing in the middle of this avalanche with a cup in his hand, asking for $3 trillion. It is not a tragedy, it is a farce. We are witnessing the end of an anomaly. For 80 years, the United States enjoyed a holiday from history. They could consume without producing. They could borrow without repaying. They could sanction without consequence. That holiday is over.
It's over.
The bill has arrived. The great liquidation we are seeing from China is not just a financial transaction. It is a vote of no confidence. It is the second largest economy in the world stating, publicly and clearly, that the American emperor has no clothes. The United States is entering a new phase. I call it the imperial liquidation.
Imperial
They are forced to
liquidation.
make deals they hate, like the one with Venezuela. They are forced to watch their strategic rival, China, dump their debt. They are forced to print money to buy their own bonds because no one else wants them. The US is not invited to the new table. And for the first time in history, they cannot afford to buy their way in. So what happens next? The United States government will try to save face. They will call the money printing liquidity support. They will blame the bond crash on technical factors. They will tell you the economy is resilient. Do not listen to what they say. Watch what they do. They are debasing the currency to save the system. They are choosing inflation because it is the only path left. For you, the regular citizen, whether you are watching this in New York, London, or Rio de Janeiro, the lesson is simple. We are moving from an era of financial assets to an era of real assets. The paper world, the world of bonds, derivatives, and fiat currency, is burning.
It's burning.
The real world, the world of gold, commodities, energy,
Commodities
and
and energy.
productive land, is rising.
And those are the things that we're going to focus on. Okay? Commodities and things like that, like gold, silver, and things like that, the things that it will never go away. Gold and silver never go away. Commodities never go away. Okay? So I'm just giving you a brief entry the wealth building videos is going to talk about. We're going to talk about, like, for example, I'm just give you one example about shares of Uroy. Uroy is a uranium company that makes uranium. Okay, they mine uranium. And what's happening is you have a lot of countries now are turning to AI and they need more energy. They're building nuclear facilities. So that would be a stock that I would purchase. Yeah, and silver. Yeah, my silver is doing good. Yeah, my silver is doing extremely well, extremely well, extremely well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying what I want to tell you guys before I end this live. It all depends on which side that you are on. They're going to make money. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of you guys are young. You guys in your 20s, 30s, 40s. The time of the old is over. It's over now. Okay? We got it's time for us to start moving in the direction of the future. Okay? So don't forget to join my membership and membership subscribers. Man, we are moving forward, man. We are going to move forward. Okay? So, hey, I thank you guys for coming on the live tonight. I hope I gave you something that you like. And if you do join the membership, um, make sure you send me a confirmation on Instagram. Okay, my Instagram is Tony Ma 40. TONY M as in Mary, A as in Apple 40. Okay, let me see. Tony MA 40. Where's my? Yeah, so make sure you contact me on Instagram, and that way I can keep up with you all and tell you guys, what's going on. And I'll let you know when I start the group membership on Instagram, and that way, only persons I'm talking to is membership people, and let you all know what's going on with the economic situation in the country. But you heard what he said. Time is running out. You only have YouTube. Okay. Matter of fact, I do have an email address there if you don't have YouTube. Let me ask you a question. Do you have WhatsApp? Do you have that? Do you use WhatsApp? Do any of you guys have WhatsApp? Because I'm thinking about doing a WhatsApp group instead of Instagram. No, you don't have to be sorry. But I need to find out, do you use any type of social media, Morgan? Because I want to be able to give you information on what's going on. Yeah, make sure you sign up with WhatsApp, Morgan. I'm going to make sure, matter of fact, this is what I'm going to do. Instead of Instagram for my group members, I'm going to start WhatsApp. And that way I can broadcast and you all can talk to each other too. That's one thing about the group. You all can talk to each other on what's going on. Okay. So Morgan, you're gonna need to get WhatsApp. I'm gonna let you all know before I start it. Before I start everything in January, I'll let you guys know the WhatsApp number and everything. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm telling you, man, we're running out of time. We got to get it together, guys, before the reset happens. You know what I'm saying? We got to have some wealth before this happens because I'm telling you, it's going. This next reset is going to be. It's going to be worse than. It's going to be 10 times worse than the 2008 crisis. It's going to be worse. It's going to be really bad. No, thank you, Morgan. Thank you all. Okay, so I will be back again. Let me see. Today is Monday. Okay, I should be back maybe Friday or something like that. Okay, I'm gonna do another live Friday. I'm gonna get everything together. But just an FYI to everybody, Robinhood is giving away stock, free stock. Okay, Robinhood is giving away free stock, and they're giving away money, free money, and free stock because it's just like money. You can take the stock from them and you can cash it in. You're making money. So you got absolutely nothing to lose if you use Robinhood. Right? If you do use Robinhood, just tell them if you want to trade on Robinhood, just tell them use me as a referral. You know, I get perks for referring them to other customers. But I found Robinhood to be very good. And what you can do is one thing I do like about Robinhood. Let me tell you what happened when I went to Colombia back in September. I went to the bank. It was like the Uber driver was supposed to be here at 2:30. Let me see, about 2 o'clock, because I had to be at the airport by 3 o'clock. You always want to have 3 hours before your travel time when you get to the airport, right? So I needed a little spending money because I was going to convert my money into pesos, right? I go out to the bank. I withdraw about $200, $300. I said, this is going to be some of my spending money from Colombia. I put it in my wallet, right? And usually when I go to Colombia, I don't bring my wallet with me. I have a little small fanny pack that I tie around my waist, and I put my shirt over. I never bring my wallet. I take my ID out. I take maybe a couple of credit cards with me, and I take some cash with me, and I convert the cash into pesos. But what happened was I left the cash in my wallet. So when I jumped into the Uber and went to the airport, I was like, oh damn, oh man, I left $200-$300 of cash in my wallet. I said, God, dog, you know. So what I did was I went into Robinhood and I liquidated $200 worth of stocks. Just to borrow it for myself. And I did a simple withdrawal, and they sent the money right to my account, right then and there, just like that. At that time. So when I came back home, I put the money back. But they're very good. I've had no problems. I'm not telling you to trade with Robinhood, but I'm just saying that they have been. I mean, they give me free stock. They're very transparent. They have webinars. They're very good. I highly recommend them. They've been good to me. Let's see what we're saying. I'll look into getting into it. Okay. Thanks, Tony. I don't know if I can use Robinhood. I have a European ID. I'm not. You can use any platform, whatever Europe use, easy. You don't have to use Robinhood. If you have E-Trade, if you have Moomoo, if you have any type of brokerage account that you use to trade, you use. Only thing that you're gonna be doing on the membership is following the advice I'm giving you what to buy. You know what I'm saying? And how much I'm making, how much you can make from that stock. That's all I'm saying. So whatever you can use, use what you have. I just use Robinhood. I know people use other platforms, so I'm not saying you have to use Robinhood, but I love Robinhood. It's really been really good to me. I can liquidate stock. They don't have to tell you, well, you gotta wait just 7 days or there's you have to wait. I mean, I get the money instantly. Instantly went right into my account. And then what I did was when I got back home, I bought the stock again. I put the money back. I just borrowed it from because I left the money here in my wallet. I was like, oh man, I left my spend the money in my wallet. I forgot to put it in my fanny pack, so yeah. All right, guys. Hey man, I'm glad y'all listened tonight, man. I'm glad y'all listened tonight, man. We're gonna be okay, man. We're gonna get through this. Okay? I love every last one of you guys. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna make it through this. With God, all things are possible, man. Peace, brothers. Love every last one of you all. Yeah, together we're gonna be strong. Absolutely, absolutely. And by the way, um, yes, I am going back to Colombia next year for sure. I gotta see Cookie. Somebody was asking me, was I going back? Yes, I'm going back probably in May. If war doesn't break out, if war doesn't break out in Venezuela, if things don't get too crazy there, um, yes, I will be back in Colombia in a few months. I gotta go back. I gotta go back and see Cookie. That is a must. Because one thing I know is about the some of the females there. Um, if they don't see you in a certain amount of time, or if you wait too long, they start drifting away. You know, because like when I left Colombia, when I started talking to Cookie, she used to call me every day. We used to talk to each other basically every day. But now I kind of have a feeling that she's drifting away. So I gotta hurry up, get back down there. So okay, easy, no doubt, y'all. Peace and love and blessings. Thank you, Eric. Thank you so much for the cash app. Thank you all so much for donating, the ones that did. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. All right, thank you. Peace. Thank you.